Good morning.
Good evening.
You were right.
It is o'clock. I'm going to call this meeting of July 19th, 2021 to order, and we will begin with the invocation. Pastor Scott Johnson of Soulful Harvest Ministries will lead. Thank you, Scott.
Dear Lord, so I stand before you, just asking, Lord, you bless this session on tonight. Bless everyone that's here. Bless all council members. Bless their families. Let us all learn to love and not judge. Let us all learn to encourage and not discourage one another as we move forward, trying to do what's best for our city and our community. Help us to understand one another better. Let us not put each other down, but learn from one another. Bless everyone that's here. Bless the session on tonight. Bless those who may be on the way. Bless the council members' families, because they have to go home to their families after they try to make for a city that sometimes seems to never be satisfied. Thank you for our first responders. Thank you everyone that's trying to make a difference. We're so grateful for all that you've done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. We have no presentations this evening. That's been kind of unusual recently with everything we've had, all the retirement that we've had going on. We'll go right into communication reports. Council?
I don't think our microphone down here doesn't work.
Purpose.
I know. Wanted to say is if anybody hasn't checked it out, check out Twisted Cat Outdoors page. The Twisted Cat organization has come to the city of Colorado for several consecutive years and hosted a catfish fishing tournament out of the Red Star Landing, and it's remarkable. If you go to their Facebook page, you can look up all the catfish that they pulled out of the Mississippi here, and they're huge. And sort of crazy that massive lives in the waters right out here in Cape Girardeau. So it's just a wonderful organization that comes in a fisherman in the city of Cape Girardeau and really highlights our wreck to the Mississippi River. And so it's definitely something I want everybody to check out. I'll plug here to make sure that everybody in the city of Cape Girardeau just make sure that you're vaccinated against COVID-19. Variant seems to be getting pretty tenuous out there, so please, anybody encourage your family and your loved ones to get vaccinated. I just don't want what's happening in Southwest Missouri where their hospitals are getting overwhelmed. So we are a community with multiple large hospitals, and ours are very robust in this town, but I don't want to take those services for granted. So please make sure in your life to get a COVID-19 vaccination for themselves and for the sake of others.
Thank you. Anybody else?
A couple of things. One, I just want to brag and say it. I bragged behind the scenes, but I wanted to tell Anna, thank you. Your staff, I've gotten a bunch of compliments recently on things, on turn times and different things, and I know that it's been a work in progress, but I really appreciate being able to hear those nice compliments from our development community. Two, as far as the magnet and the Ernst & Young strategic plan, I sent you guys the draft of the communities that we're looking at for research, and so that's a good, there's positives and negatives in that, and I don't think that's anything that we were surprised about. Moving along, we'll probably have them in Cape over the next probably 5 days, I think. So they'll be, most of your, I think, have been added to the list, potential survey, one-on-one meetings to get your take. on some things within the survey. So that's moving along great. The other thing, and this is, I guess it is public knowledge or not public knowledge, but I saw Mark Welker the other day, and he said, you know, it's on the 20th of July, it will be 1 year since we have had a murder in Cape Girardeau County. And I'm taken back by that, and you know, it doesn't take away from the fact that we've had other things that have happened and everything, but I sat up here really less than 5 years ago and said, you know, I can remember growing up in Cape Girardeau and at a time where you didn't have a murder. See that happen, even though it might be a small glimpse of hope, everything that we've got going on, I still wanted to say something about it. I know the police force is doing everything they can, 24 hours a day, 365. And I know that we want to get better. Even anytime we see those reports, we want to get better. But I just wanted to just celebrate something out of something that is up there and important to all of us. So anyway, wanted to share that. That's all I.
Anybody else?
Keep Cape Beautiful litter tours begin this week. So thank you, council, for participating. Thank you for participating. Once all the tours are completed, we'll compile the list and see how we do compared to last year. So look forward to that.
All right, good. Anybody else? I had the pleasure of being downtown as the Vintage Rally came in last weekend. A little smaller than what the car race was, but it's really neat. It's a neat thing to see. I can tell you there are some eclectic people that ride motorcycles, and they're very interesting to meet. It was really neat to meet them. They were from all over the country, from some of them from northern Vermont. Were griping about the weather and the humidity and the heat, but they were from all over, everywhere, from Washington, from Texas, from you name it. They were. But it was a really neat deal for downtown Cape Girardeau in our city. Kenny and I had the pleasure of meeting with the leadership of other elected officials, talking about policy development and policy in itself, and how that affects the city and the council. That's all to do. Friday morning, I had a conference call with Governor Parson, with the other mayors of major cities in Cape, and it was basically on COVID again, primarily to bring everybody up to date on what's happening around the state, and just give some factual information that everybody needs to know. First of all, I'll tell you that 80% of people 65 and over are vaccinated in the state of Missouri, which I think is very, very good. The people 18 and over are vaccinated in the state of Missouri. So the big problem that Southwest Missouri especially is having with the Delta variant and people being hospitalized is that those are 95% of the people in the hospital are non-vaccinated. Those who get the serious non-vaccinated. You can get it if you've been vaccinated, but it's very minor. Having the flu, it's there, it's gone. And so again, I would, echo what Dan said, encourage people to get it, because Cape Girardeau County still sits at 37%. And when you think most of those are probably 65 and over, there's a large population of our county that's not vaccinated. And if that Delta variant does get here, it'll spread like wildfire, just like it has every place else. Hospitals themselves around the state are busier than normal without COVID, because many people put elective procedures, things, because of the COVID pandemic, and now they're going in there to get these elective surgeries and other things. And the hospitals are around the state are, when they have that issue come up like they have in Springfield, Cox Medical Center is sending patient handle COVID patients. And they're in, and I don't want to see that happen in Cape Girardeau. So it was really nice, the governor and his staff and the interim director of Department of Health talked to us, and each got on and talked about what's going on in their city, worried about the same thing. I'll just echo what Dan said. And I don't have anything else. Kenny, you? I meant to say that, and I forgot about it, and Robbie reminded me. One of the our area has been faced with was the losing our metropolitan statistical area, MSA. It's always been, and to change that to 100,000 would eliminate us and another 144 cities around the country chance to be designated. What that would mean to us would be devastating. Ago, talking about all of the grants and the money that he brought into the community over his career was $66-something million. A lot of those CDBG grants would be eliminated if we would have lost MSA status. We'd be able to have, our last grant was $60,000, I think, and we no longer have that money to give to community partners, to Salvation Army, to Catholic charities to help with homeless and so. And I will give kudos to Governor Parson, our officials who wrote very, very good letters. I wrote a letter myself, and there were a lot of mayors that did the same, and they reached their stance and kept it at 50,000. So that's a big deal for our community. Anything?
Nothing for me, Mayor.
You're going to change that one of these days. And
He's busy enough.
he is very busy.
He's
I know
picking
he
the
is.
right place to get in, right?
I know. Any appearances this evening by advisory board applicants? If not, planning and zoning? Was Kevin supposed to? I didn't hear from him.
This is
All right, well, maybe he'll come in. You want to go ahead and do that in case he doesn't?
I don't have the cheat sheet, I'll just tell you what they talked about. The
Okay.
first one was a zoning recommendation for the annexation that's on tonight's agenda. The property owned by JMD Industries at 530 County Road 317. The staff is recommending C2 zoning for that property upon annexation, and the commission agreed with that, so that's their recommendation. That's on your agenda tonight. They also reviewed a request for a special use permit, a car dealership, and I'm sorry I don't have the address, but it's down the street here on Independence Street, just east of the roads, next to Delors Lock Shop. So there's a redevelopment opportunity there, and that'll come before your next meeting. But they recommended approval of that, which then they reviewed 4 record plats, Ferndale Anthony, Southwest Subdivision, Debbie Subdivision, Cape West Crossing East First Subdivision, and Rivers Edge Subdivision.
You remember
Those are
pretty
still in
good
the
for not having
process
any
of
of those.
getting comments addressed, and once those are ready, they'll come before you.
Okay.
That was it.
Appearance this evening for any item not listed on the agenda? Any item that's not listed on the agenda? If not, we will move to our regular session and have the roll call.
It's here, hold on. Okay. Fox?
Here?
Mr. Guard?
Here.
Here. Ms. Here.
Mr. President, Mr. Thomas?
Here.
At this point, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the amendment to remove number 9 from the consent. If somebody would so move.
I motion to adopt the agenda with the removal of number 9 from the consent agenda.
Okay. Any discussion?
Is it removal from consent or into?
It's removal from consent. It was acceptance of public improvements that, from the agenda.
Yes. On the agenda.
You know, just say agenda.
On the agenda. Okay.
It just happened to be on the consent. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We have 3 hearings this evening. Public hearing to consider the proposed annexation of property located at 530 County Road 317 as requested Industries Incorporated, and the proposed zoning of the same property as C2 Highway Commercial District. This evening to speak during this public hearing.
Hello, Mayor. Ombudsman. My name is Suzanne Shear. I own the property at 550 County Road 317. The property that you're going to annex in is surrounding me. It used to be my grandfather's and grandmother's farm at one time before we sold it to Drury's. Property being zoned commercial. The only thing it gets into the city, back in the far back corner, whenever Drury's had their roofing company, they had dumped some of their roofing materials and things like that, and I just want to make sure that that's not going to become an issue for you guys. Make sure that they've taken care of that, and there's no Department of DNR things that, or EPA or anything like that, that would come up. That's the only thing I have.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else on this public hearing? If not, I will close the hearing. We have a second public hearing this evening to consider vacating the city's interest in the sanitary easement located at 2430 Golden Street in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Anybody here this evening to speak on behalf of that vacating easement? If not, I will close the public hearing. We have a third to consider vacating the city's interest in Northview Drive Lane in the city of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Anybody here this evening to speak on behalf of this public hearing? Seeing no one rise, I will close this public hearing. Are there any individuals who wish to make comments regarding on the agenda this evening? Anybody, any item that's listed on the agenda this evening? If not, we will move to the consent agenda. Eric?
Number 21-101, an ordinance appropriating funds for operating expenditures, debt service expenditures, and transfers for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2021, and the City of Cape Girardeau expenditures, capital expenditures, service expenditures, and transfers for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2021, in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 21-102, an ordinance approving the record plat of D&K Stock Subdivision, ordinance approving the record plat of D&K Stock Subdivision. Number 21-103, a resolution authorizing city manager to execute a license and indemnity agreement with Southeast Missouri District Fair for construction of a livestock barn at 2521 Expo Way in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Number 21-104, a resolution authorizing city manager to execute a performance guarantee agreement with GMA Development LLC for Shadowwood Villas Phase 1, Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
You have before you the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Robbie, second by Nate. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. New ordinances. Bill number 21-100, an ordinance of the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, imposing a use tax for general revenue purposes of the rate equal to the total local sales taxes in effect for the privilege of storing, using, or consuming within the city any article of tangible personal property pursuant to the authority granted by and subject to the provisions of Section 144.600 through 144.761 Revised Statute, Missouri, providing for the use of use tax to be repealed, reduced, or raised in the same amount of any city sales tax as repealed, reduced, or raised, and providing for submission of the proposed to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the special election called and to be held in the city on Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021.
Second.
Motion by Dan, seconded by Robbie. Any discussion?
Mayor, I just like it. I hate everything about that language. We all know that this is way fair. We all know that this is net sales tax, and it's sad that they have to use that language to describe this. I just put that out there, Mayor.
Agreed.
That is the state statute, and it is the legal statute. As Eric will tell us, he waited to put this on the agenda at this meeting, waiting for the correct language to be reviewed by legal people around the state, and this is what they came up with, and this is the best it's going to be. It's, in my mind, someone had said it's confusing, and it's, we have to make the point to the electorate that it is not confusing, that it's a matter of a fair tax. It's fair to our local store owners who have to compete with somebody like Amazon, who is getting rich on behalf of our citizens and those around the country. Missouri is one of the last states to approve this, and many states do this and don't require local people to vote on it, but our state's a little different about the way that they do things, and we got to do what we have to do. But our bottom line is we've got to be able to make a loss of revenue. And since it started, we're losing about $3 million a year, and you go back 10 years, that's $30 million that we could have spent for services in our city, and we've not been able to do that. So it's vital that in order to continue to provide the service we provide, that we have this. We can't compete and people like getting their trash picked up. They like getting their recyclables picked up, and they like the service they get from our police department and our fire department. We've got to do this to survive. So that's my comment.
Let me add something real quickly on that. I moved from a state in a city that have this in place already, and we have no tremendous amount of new revenue being generated as a result of it. Where we're able to enhance our, recruit and retain qualified employees, public safety included. It has been a huge boom for other states. And I have to tell you, I was a little surprised when I moved here and this initiative was not already in place. So I can, as a staff and certainly I know you, Mayor, and the council are going to do everything remotely possible to make sure that we get the message out and clearly articulate a message with the public. So we're looking forward to it.
And I think this week is the perfect week for us to vote on this, because this is the week that the founder of Amazon is quite literally going to space on a spaceship he built himself.
Sure.
And we are a state to have this type of a tax. And so obviously, Amazon's not going to miss the money. Amazon's founder is sending himself to space. The founders of the companies here in Cape Girardeau that support our sports teams and shop in our stores, they're not going to space. Those people are here in our community and actively walking on our sidewalks and participating in our town. and it's not. Amazon uses our services, they use our streets, they use up all of the municipal things that we offer to them, but they don't have to pay for it. Whereas every single person who owns a business in this town does have to pay for it. And so we've got to level this playing field, because one founder is going to space and another founder is going to the grocery store in Cape Girardeau. And that's the major difference in this tax. So it might have all of the fancy legalese language on the ballot, but it comes down to Amazon's founders going to space, and our founders are walking our streets and shopping.
I love it. I love it, Dan.
That's just, you know, it's just, I just keep thinking about that. I can't get past the fact that literally Jeff Bezos is flying in a spaceship he built himself.
Yeah.
So
Hear the terms.
How can we get that to Cape Girardeau people?
Yeah, yes, and that's what we're committed to in developing an education campaign to be able to get that out. And one of the messaging things that I hear when I hear new tax, it's not a new tax, it's not new revenue, it's capturing revenue that we otherwise would have captured. It is modernizing our taxing structure because people have modernized how they shopped.
Right.
And now it's getting us up to speed and up to date with how they're shopping. You're still buying the same food, the same clothes, the same thing. Instead of going into bricks and mortar, you're buying it online. Now it's able to capture that and bring it back so that we can provide all the services and resources that we do as a city. So it is not new revenues, capturing that we've lost in the past.
And Kenny, our conversation was the day, you know, when I drive down the street and go to Walmart and buy my groceries, I pay a city sales tax. But if I go online to walmart.com and order the same stuff, I don't.
Because it's shipped from somewhere else.
Right, because it's, so those, you know, the truck is still driving down our street, wearing out our, you know, all that. To your point, Nate, I think it's going to be important for people to learn and to understand this is not a new tax. We do already have a city tax. It's just now their way to a new technology, basically.
I like the term modernizing our system. It's what it is.
And also leveling the playing field.
It is leveling the playing
field. Two separate businesses downtown, they expressed concern that people are coming to their brick and mortar businesses, window shopping, going back home and ordering the same item. Ask me, Kenny, is that fair? I invested in this community. I put my full faith and credit and trusted that this was going to be a fair exchange. And yet, this is how he's being rewarded. My hope is that all get together and support our local business by creating a just process here, moving.
Presented properly, because I've been here for years, and I guarantee you most people are going to look at it as, oh, taxing us some more.
That's why we've got
It's gotta
it.
be right.
I understand. We understand that. Hope it's understood when it's presented right.
Yeah.
That's the key part.
And to dispel the myth of it's passed at the county level, and we're part of the county. We passed it at the county level.
It's passed.
We don't see a dollar of that at the city. All those city resources, we're not capturing that. So we have passed it local at county level. Now we need to pass it at the city level, because those are all those vital resources and parks and streets and trash and everything that we all.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Bill number 21-105, an ordinance amending Chapter 15 of the Code of Ordinances in the City of Cape Girardeau regarding construction trades license.
So moved.
Motion by Dan, seconded by Shannon. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill number 21-106 and number 5 of the Code of Ordinances in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri regarding liquor licenses. Motion by Shannon, second by Nate. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor by saying aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. 21-108, an ordinance accepting construction easements from various property owners for West End Boulevard project from Rose Street to Bertling Street, the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
So moved.
And second by Nate. Any discussion? That's all I have to say. If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Bill number 21-109, an ordinance accepting permanent easements from various property owners for the West End Boulevard from Rose Street to Bertling Street in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Nate. Any discussion?
I'm going to echo, it's about time. Thank you for all of your work, everybody that has.
It's
I know
taken a
there's been
long
some
time.
hiccups, some speed bumps. but-
Taking a long time. We're about to bid that project and get it done. All those in,
There was a miss or number 13.
Yes.
107.
missed that?
Yeah.
I skipped one? Okay, I'll go back. Sorry.
We do
I'm
need
so
to
anxious to
vote
get to
on
West End
that.
Boulevard. Okay, first of all, Bill number 20-109, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 21-107, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a special warranty deed to St. Francis Foundation Real Estate LLC for property located at Walmart in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Second.
Motion by Dan. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Bill number 21-1110, an ordinance authorizing the acquisition, construction easements, and rights of way from various property owners for this project in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Nate. Any? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Bill number 21-111, an ordinance vacating the city's interest in the sanitary sewer and utility easement located at 2430 Golden Street, City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Robbie and Shannon. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Bill number 21-112, an ordinance vacating the city's interest in a portion of right of Northview Drive and running and retaining a utility easement in the City of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Robbie. Any discussion? If not, that motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We have appointments this evening, and I know of your business. I'll entertain a motion to a closed session to discuss legal action, litigation, and confidential communications with legal counsel and leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate by Section Missouri, Section 61002.
So moved.
We are adjourned.
Okay.